everyone, it is time to do the final little row of cute little items from this book. This is Small Victories by Johanna Basford. If you haven't seen any of the other videos, you can catch up with those later, but we're going to come in and really closely actually, and we've got another little snail to do to start with. Sorry, I'm going to move him into the middle. There we go. Now, we are using Chromaflow pencils. I'm going to try and colour this snail a little bit differently to the other one. There was one in the first video. Let's have a think. What? Oh, excuse me, let's have a look. Maybe we'll do this one a little bit browner. Let's make a start with the... Let's use the Morning Mist. I haven't used this one yet on this page. And just put a layer on him really. It's quite a pale colour, but it's a nice little starter colour, I think. Sort of brownish, greyish colour, really light. And then we'll add some darker colours. This is quite a tricky one to colour with the shape and the leaves and things, but I'm sure we can get there. So let's put that one back now. Where should we go next? Let me have a look at my swatch chart. I think I might go pebble. It's a little bit darker. It's still quite pale, but we'll add a bit of the pebble in the areas I want to be a bit darker. So I'm thinking along the bottom. I should just give it a sharpen. So I hope everyone's doing okay today. I'm quite excited because I'm expecting a delivery of a book today. So that's always exciting, isn't it? Someone asked me in my video comments overnight how many books I had. I don't know. I don't want to count them. I feel like it's scary. I reckon I've got about 150, and I've probably finished maybe 20, something like that. I don't know for sure. So I'm just putting this colour around the edges really at the moment. I'm just sort of thinking about where it might be a bit darker. I'm going to sort of scumble a bit to make sure there's not just a solid line. There we go. And I want something slightly darker just to finish him off. I think I might use the biscotti. This is quite brown, but I think... Oh, magpie again. It's catching my eye. It was yesterday. I think because it's been raining, they're up on the roof trying to eat the little insects and things that live in the gutters and on the moss that's on the roof, that sort of thing. But it's got quite late this morning already. It's 10:15, which is quite late for me getting on, but waiting for husband to leave for work. I'm going to do these trees next. I was thinking I might do them all in the same colour, and now I'm thinking, no, there's no need to do them all in the same colour. You could do them in different colours. So I'm going to grab the basil first, when I can find it. There it is. Can't see for looking, as my mum would say. Here it is, basil. And I'm going to do this first one. I'm just going to do a movement in this direction so that I can... If you can see any lines, it will look like it's just the needles, pine needles. So yeah, I had a slow start. So I got my son off to uni. He left at 7:20. He was up a little bit late, but he hurried to get ready, and then he was ready early. So that was all good. And me and him were both very tired. We'd struggled to go off to sleep. I'm quite happy with that, just having the one colour. I thought I might put another colour on it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to grab the pine green now to do the next one. And anyway, it was okay. We can catch up tonight on our sleep. No one's got to be out early, although I do have a workman coming. A different job, not a bathroom, not a shower. We're having our gas meter changed. It's very exciting. The gas smart meter has never worked. We've had two and neither of them have worked, but they're coming to change it again, so maybe it'll work, who knows. It's got two chances, as my mum would say. I think I'll use the cactus for the other one. And they can't tell me what time they're coming. They'll phone me on the day just before they arrive, which I always think is a bit rubbish, because I suppose if they phoned me on my mobile and I was just at the shop, I could make sure I got home. But really, I'm staying in just in case. Actually, I don't need to. There'll be someone here because husband isn't at work. I'm going to use the natural brown for all of the tree trunks. Now, husband isn't at work tomorrow, so he can supervise them. So I've got to go out in the afternoon anyway. My son's got physiotherapy, so I'm going to go with him. Leaves on the shell. Let's do something a little bit different. What colour's that? No, I don't like that colour. Let's go for spring bud. Trying to find it. Here we go. Quite bright. And use that for the really little ones here. And yeah, so I've got a bit going on tomorrow. But anyway, we can. My other son, my husband's gone to work at last. I was waiting to do much before he. Although I did do one of my Advent goodies. This is grass green. I'm getting them ready early. This is going to be a giveaway that I do during December. Every day I'm going to have a giveaway on in my Ko-fi. So, well, not every day in December, only up until the 24th. I'll have a bit of a break after Christmas, but actually I'm getting it all done really early because I know Christmas is hectic for me, as it is for lots of people. Olivine. I'm going to sharpen this one. So I'm getting it all organised. I'm on day 11, but I've done day 21 because I don't know why. So I did a few out of order. So I'm getting there, and I was doing that this morning. I did one yesterday as well, so that was good. But I'm sort of trying to get a bit ahead with things because of Johanna's new book, which I think it comes out the day this video is due out. I think that's how it's timed, but I can't be 100% sure. So I might decide to change the order of the videos go out, but I try not to do that too much because I think it gets a bit confusing. I'm choosing one more green for these other leaves because I don't want anything too dark. Let's do the foliage. I think it gets a bit confusing because I talk about what I've been doing and different things, and then if they're out of order, I think that might not quite work. But anyway, it's getting a bit ahead, ready for the book, which is exciting, very exciting. But yeah, I'm expecting a new book today, and 3, see, 1, 2, 3, yeah, I think 3 new books from Colouring Heaven. They've sent me a huge load, but they haven't arrived yet. Now, something I forgot to do is these. So I'm going to just nip back to the greys. I'm going to use a biscotti because I wanted to show up. Just fill those in. Oops. Yeah, I also took a few moments to indulge in watching a flip through of Hannah Carlson's God Jewel book. Oh my! I haven't looked at a flip through before because I was like, I'm not buying a new book. I'm just not getting another book. I've got so many books, and I know people are sending me books. I'm very, very lucky. I just don't want to get more. Oh, I looked at the flip through. I was like, oh, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to do a slightly orangey brown colour, I think, for the shell. I'm going to start with this redwood and just put down a really light layer. It's going to be quite tricky to getting in between all these little bits, so I'm just going to go slowly. Well, in my terms. I know I'm quite fast. Oh, it's such a pretty book, but it's sold out everywhere, and it's not the UK version, or the English version I should say, because it's sort of US really, not UK I think, is not due out until next September, I don't think. I bought her a Tales from Atlantis book from iMusic, which is a Swedish, I want to say, website, and they shipped to the UK, so that was all good. But unfortunately they've already sold out of her Christmas book, and I was just too slow, and so I haven't got it, so I'm a bit sad. But it's my own fault. I should have just ordered it. I should have pre-ordered it and just got it, but I didn't. And as I say, I was just thinking, oh, I've got so many Christmas things, and she's got Christmas pictures in her other books that I could colour, which is completely true, you know. Right, we're going to grab the raisin and do a little bit of darker colour on the bits of the shell that I want to look really shadowy, so in here. Yeah, but I was just like, oh, it's so beautiful, but never mind. I will get it eventually, and I will enjoy the lovely books that I've got at the moment. So that's all fine and good. But yeah, it was lovely. Now, this bit that I want to be lighter is a little bit too light at the moment, so I'm going to use a I think the Dijon I'm going to use. Here it is. I'm just going to fill in this area. I'm actually going to stop there for a minute because my son needs me to message him. Right, sorry, well, you didn't notice any difference. My son was saying he couldn't do something because it was on his home computer. I'm actually just going to sharpen this and really work this colour in, because I can see some paper here. I want some white that I want to cover up. Yeah, he said his code is on his computer, so he can't work on his assignments. Was trying to establish whether I could help him and send it to him, but he said unfortunately not. Right, that is that little bit done. I am now going to go back to my redwood and just extend this area here particularly. And in here, it's a little bit thick, the lighter bit, in there. Yeah, he's basically, they've been given a practical to do in class, and he's done it before, and now he says he just wants to come home because he's really tired, which I am too. Yeah. Right, let's move on to our next one. Now we have a little jar. Now I'm looking at this, we've got a ribbon going around and we can see it through here, which means we've got a see-through jar, but it doesn't mean that it has to be like clear. It could be a really delicate colour, which is what I might do, because we've done a clear one before on this page, so it might be nice to do something really delicate. I'm just having a look actually and seeing what we've got. I don't really want to do sort of blue or grey because that just looks like normal glass. We do have the rose pink. I think I might do that. I think it might make a pretty colour. Here we go, here's our rose pink. We'll just do this. Yeah, we could do this first, even though we've got this ribbon bit to do. So, oh, I need to sharpen it. Rose pink. just to do that bit, and then what I'm trying to do is do a little bit more on the edges and less towards the centre, and then it can make it look a little bit more like it's got a bit of a shine. It'll be quite a bit more solid at the bottom there. It's not easy to see because it's such a pale colour, but I don't mind that. I do want it to be pale. You can make it slightly darker if you want to. I am just going to build this up a little bit with a few more layers, but I quite like the delicate look. It's not often I get a delicate look. There we go. Now let's pop that one. Now we have this ribbon and flowers. Maybe we could go down the pink route. I'm just having a look. I rather think this would work. The orchid. We'll use the orchid. Oh, that's not the orchid. Here it is. Just randomly grabbed the wrong pencil. And we use this for the ribbon. Oh, I nearly dropped my pencil sharpener then. Now for the ribbon, what I tend to do for ribbons is make them a little bit darker on the edge and then fade them towards the middle, and then the same here, so a bit darker here and then fade it towards the middle like that, and then do the same on this bottom one, and the bit in the middle that looks light could sort of indicate that it's a sort of silky ribbon, but I'm going to see if it actually works in a minute. Now this bit behind is going to be darker here and here, but this bit through here we do quite lightly because we're looking through our glass vase. Like that. Now let me see. I'm just looking in the camera. I think that's worked. I am back. I have been away for quite a while, so if I was in the middle of saying something I have forgotten, I'm really sorry. I got called away having to sort something out for my son, and did all sorts of other things, got distracted, had lunch, blah blah blah. And here I am back at last, really keen to finish our lovely little pot. Now I was thinking about maybe doing the flowers in the same colour as these pinks, but not exactly the same. But I think we'll do them in a little bit of a different colour. I think it will be a little bit more interesting than doing them the same colour. And I'm just having a little look, and I think I'm looking at the purples because I think they'll go quite well. Let's have a go at the violet. It's quite dark, but I fancy having a play with it. Just trying to find it. There it is, violet. Need to sharpen it. Oh, I'm quite excited, sillily. My husband has replaced the blades in my sharpener, so I've got some nice sharp ones. Here we go, violet. I can do it myself, but he offered, so, you know, why not? This is quite a dark colour, so I'm going to try and press quite lightly, so that it doesn't look black, you know. So I'm going to put a few darker touches, but I don't want it all to be really dark. So I'm just trying to be a little bit gentle. It's not always that easy. If you can't be gentle, then you know you might want to use a slightly lighter colour, or do it dark if that's what you like. You know, it's up to you. Yeah, my one son is struggling a bit at uni. Oh, it always stresses me so much when my boys aren't happy. But my other one was getting ready to leave and looking into some information about his placement. He decided that he would have a meeting with the careers officer before he did his application, which I think was very sensible. Because we don't know things like, you know, the number of hours that they have to do, according to the university's information, is quite low. We worked it out, and it was like sort of like a university term, you know, so from October to May. So it wasn't that long. But when you have a look at the advertised positions that companies have put out, there's a few around at the moment. They are, we're going to use field grey for the green, I think. They want a year. In fact, one of them I found was 13 months. Now, of course, they do have 13 months because they finish in May, at the very end of May, and then they don't start back again until the very end of September. But that still is quite a long time. You know, they get paid, usually, and one of the jobs he found, there was no payment, but you got board and food, and well, you got back £200 a month payment and food and board. And he said, that's rubbish. I'm like, yeah, but it's in Australia. He's like, I don't want to go to Australia. I'm like, no, I'm not saying you do, but you know, that's just how that one works. But I have found a local one, which my one son who won't be able to drive, this is 8, I'm going to put a little bit of shine just on the edges of here. I don't know how well it will show up, but I feel like I want to just do a little bit. He needs something within public transport distance, and there was one really locally, but it would still be about an hour's commute each way because it's not inside this town that we live, it's in a village on the outskirts. But there are plenty of buses, so that's not too much of an issue. I am thinking about this picture. I'm wondering whether to just do it wood, like brown wood, or whether to do it in a coloured, like it's painted. But I think we'll do it in brown wood because I don't think I've done a brown wood demo for you in the Chromaflow, so it might be useful. So I'm going to start with a light brown, the nutshell, and just do all of the bird box area after I sharpened it with this, and then I'll show you how to do a sort of woodish effect, how I do it anyway. So yes, so there is a bus, so he could get to that one, so that's good. It's quite a big company, but it was 13 months. I thought, but I mean, the pay was about 23,000. I thought that's pretty good. I mean, obviously that's before tax and student loan repayments and things like that. But I thought, ooh. But it would mean that I was having a look. If he started at 9, he'd be home by about 6:30. That's quite late compared to, you know, the time that they normally get home. But, you know, once you start work, you're usually getting home later, so than when you're at school or at college or whatever. So we'll see. My other son, he's got a company he wants to work for, and he also found another job he could do somewhere else. But so he's got a backup plan, which is great. He's already thinking about it. But I think one of my boys is proactive like me, likes to get involved and start thinking about things nice and early, and the other one just doesn't want to think about it, like my husband. Anything to avoid it. Right, this is the coffee bean. It's very, very dark. We're going to do the whole. We're going to do it as if this is actually crumbled a little bit. We're going to do it as if it's dark inside. I think that's how it would be. Sorry, my pencil's splintering and crumbling. It's not going to make a particularly neat finish. I'm just going to build up gentle layers to try and get it to look better. I'm trying to go careful because I could feel it was going. Right. I think it's probably better to do it a bit darker. I'm thinking, is it better darker on the top? Maybe. Maybe on the bottom, maybe darker on the edge. I don't really know. I'm not sure. There we go. Now, I want to continue with this really dark colour to do a little bit of shadow under here, because I'm thinking that this bit here might just be slightly standing out from the rest of our little birdhouse. There we go. And then a little bit under the roof, like that. Sorry, I'm shading it. I can't get a different angle. I might extend that a little more, actually. Make it look like we've got quite a little protective rim under our roof there. The little birds. They haven't got a little perch, have they? They have to fly straight in. I suppose they could land on there. A bit either side of here as well. And then I'm just going to do a little bit here and a little bit here. Now we need something in between these two colours. So let's have a think. The natural brown is probably good. I think we used this already for our snail picture. Here we go. So let's have a look. I'm just fiddling with something on my computer because, you know, on my tablet. But I'm going to sharpen my natural brown. It gives you a minute, doesn't it? There we go, natural brown. And I'm going to put in, see here we've got some little lines. I'm going to sort of emphasise those a bit, but I think putting in little tiny lines can indicate that it's wood, like that. Now we've got some texture lines drawn on here. Do you see these little dots? Or they might indicate there's different planks. I think I might just draw my own lines like this, actually. There we go, and some crosswise here. I'm not sure about this bit. I think I just put a shadow under there. I think I did put one in a little bit, but we'll just put a bit more in. And I might just extend that bit there a little bit. Oh, the sun's gone in a bit, I can see better. There we go. Now, we've got leaves and flowers. The leaves all look the same to me. They're all on the same stem. They're very similar shape-wise. I was thinking, you know, they look a bit like ivy, but I don't want to do them really dark. Like ivy would be maybe the leaf green or the obsidian green if you've got this set of pencils. I want to do them a little bit lighter and brighter. So I'm thinking maybe the jungle green is quite nice. I'll start with this, and if I feel it's a little bit too light and bright, I can always add another colour. But my intention is not to use more than one colour because we've got such a little teeny tiny space to colour in. But this is such a lovely bright colour. I thought something light and bright on top of our sort of more dull wood would work. Excuse me. I'm waiting for my cup of tea to cool down. Had my lunch. I was fiddling with something. My son left about 11:20. I was fiddling with something and doing some jobs. And then it was nearly lunchtime, and although I wasn't very hungry, I thought I'll just go and get lunch over and done with before I come back and record, because otherwise I might get hungry and I might start rushing because I'm hungry, and I don't want to do that. So I thought I would just excuse me, just take my time and have a bit of lunch first. I think it's worked well because I'm not hungry, not that I was before. I just had a little bit of toast and made a cup of tea. So I actually made a cup of green tea, but now I'm thinking I quite fancy a cup of black tea. But never mind. I'm feeling we could do with a little bit of something. So I am going to grab a slightly... We could go quite dark, actually. I haven't used this green yet. This is the obsidian green. It's really dark. And we'll have a play with this. Why not? If you're a bit scared of pressing too hard, then don't go this dark. But I'm going to use it at the base here. Just gently to add a little bit of darker colour at the bottom of each of these. It's quite small. They're fairly fiddly. I've got a nice sharp point, so that's good. Yeah, these are the last blades we have, sharpness. But my husband has got a contact at Stedler that he writes to, and she sends blades out sometimes. She used to send out them easily, and now she asks to check about making sure we're careful with them, which is fair enough. Okay, that's the obsidian green. I'm happy with those being like that. The only thing I noticed was that there probably would be a little bit of shadow under them around our bird box. So I'm going to go back to my coffee bean colour. I'm going to pop in a little bit of shadow. Again, this is a bit of a fiddly detail which you might just want to not worry with. So I'm putting a little bit under there, and a little bit under these. Just at the bottom. There we go. Now we have our flowers. They're again quite small. We haven't got any blue in this row, but I could use blue for our mushroom next. That might be better. Let's see if we can do a bright pink. How about the cerise pink? That might be an interesting colour to use. I don't think I've used it yet. Can't see it though. The sun's shining on my pencils. Where are you? Hollywood Wildberry. Magenta. I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's here. Here it is. Sorry for my slowness in finding my pencil, but hey, gave you time to find it too. Okay. So here we go. Cerise pink. I think I'm going to try to make the petals a little bit more intense here and a bit less towards the end. It's a very small detail though, and you may not worry about it because it might hardly be visible anyway. I'm just trying to put a few more layers up here near to the centre of the flower, and then the same on this one. A really loud whirring noise, and it is my inverter on my solar panels, which is just in my hallway. I'm going to use the lemon yellow for the centres. I think it might work quite well. I just sharpen it as always. There we go, lemon. And just block it in really. It's quite a small space, and because the lemon isn't that vibrant, we'll need to layer it up a bit to get it to show up. There we go. Okay, now it is mushroom time. Just going to find the right pencils out for that. Let's move it into the centre. Okay, so what have we got going on here? We've got berries, leaves, grass stem, mushroom, flowers. Okay, I'm going to do the base of the mushroom in a blue, but I'm not going to do the flowers in blue, or else it's going to end up looking too much like our hot air balloon. So what colour is a mushroom blue? Well, I'm thinking the glaucous blue, a grey blue is quite a good colour. I'm just going to sharpen it. And just fill in all the little gaps. Now we've got spots on this mushroom as well as the flowers, so it gives it even more little spaces to colour around. But it's quite nice having such a small area to colour in a way. It makes it a little bit quicker to colour, which I think was the point of this book really, was to give everyone a small picture to colour when they're not too busy, when they are too busy, sorry, to do a big design. And I think it was something that a lot of people really liked the idea of, but there were some people who don't like this sort of page. I think it can be I'm going to just layer this up on the edges a bit. I think it can be that some people like a page that's a scene that tells a story, that sort of thing. Whereas on this page where you've got lots of little random items, it's not really a story to get your teeth into. You know, there's no... I'm doing a darker bit here as well, because I'll explain in a minute. See that there? I'm thinking this bit might be sticking up. So I'm just trying to colour it that way. This bit's reasonably flat, maybe a little bit in there. I think maybe a bit there. Just to give our mushroom a little more shape. There we go. Now we have all these flowers. We could do them all different colours. They look like they could be the same colour. I think we should do some orange. I don't think we've done any orange flowers much here. Oops, on this page at all. What have we got orange choice wise? We have got flaming clementine, sienna gold, red, orange, autumn blaze, carrot, orange crush, melon. I tend to turn to the flame a lot. It's rather my favourite, but I'm going to pick the red orange just because I don't think I should keep doing the same colour over and over. So I'm going to grab that out. Here it is. Red orange. And I think I'm going to do all the flowers in the same colour. Again, I'm going to need to sharpen it. It's very small. Now, I'm really not going to worry at all with trying to do any difference in colour between the different parts of the petals. They are so small. I am just going to colour them in. I'm trying to do them evenly, but that isn't easy for me. So I'll just do my best and hope. Now, I thought we could do the centres of these a little bit different. Maybe not do them yellow. Maybe we could do them... could try a brown, perhaps. Now, I am expecting a delivery today, so doorbell might go. I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh, my son's headphones. His headphones broke, and they sent a replacement pair by return. It's fantastic. I don't know if it's because of they were under the warranty. I bought them from Curry's, just for anyone who's interested. I'm going to use the sienna gold, I think, for the centres, but it might be a little bit too close to the colour of the orange, but we'll see. Yeah, so I don't know if it was because it was Curry's and they were under warranty, or if it's because that particular brand is very good. They were Razer headphones, which is a very expensive brand, but I don't think this works. I'm going to put a darker brown on top of this, but I'm going to do them all so they're all the same. I just think it looks the wrong colour entirely. Right, let's turn to our browns. Let's go for the oak. It's quite dark, but I'm just going to layer a little bit on and just see how it goes, really. I need to sharpen it. I'm going to try this big one first. I'm thinking if I put it at the bottom and just scumble it up a bit, fading as I go, maybe that will work. Sorry, concentration, quietness. That's better. I think what I want to do is make my petals a little more vibrant in a yellowy sense. I'm not making sense, but it's making sense in my head. So I'm going to pick the sunflower. If I can find it, I think that's it. Is it? Yeah. And just go over all the petals with this. Not the centres, just the petals. Oh, just heard a crashing noise. That's that. Maybe the recycle men are here. It is that day of the week. Recycle comes around so quick. My poor son was saying, I don't want to be here, I want to be at home. I don't know what to do to help him. He's got, you know, once he finishes today, he will have 4 days off. You know, it's a lot. So, it doesn't, but I know he finds it tricky. But it's so hard knowing how to respond to that, you know. Right, deep sea I'm going to use for this little rim around here. But I'm going to put a really light layer down first. And then I'm going to darken it in certain places. So here and here. I mean, I know he was dreading going back to uni. He's not enjoying it, which I'm really sad about because I loved uni. But you can't force someone to enjoy something just because you do. It's just not the way the life works, is it? So I did talk to him and say, you know, you could just stop. You could finish it and you could get a job instead. But he's like, but then I won't be able to get a very good job or do what I like, slate grade, because I won't have a qualification. So I wasn't sure then. What do you say? Well, I was like, well, you might be able to build up work experience and then eventually do it, or pick up your degree a bit later. But he's like, so that was the end of that. So I'm colouring more on the line and then a bit less towards the next line to try and give a little bit of a textured look to the underside of our mushroom. So more by the stem, less towards the line, more here and less. So we've got a little bit of a textured look. But for the stem, I'm going to use a bluey grey, a paler one. I think the Oxford grey is quite good choice. I want to start lightly though. I always feel like it's wasted on him because I enjoyed mine so much. But, I mean, he's paying for it at the end of the day. But my nieces are the same. They don't enjoy it. They just, you know, I don't know why they're doing it either. One of mine is repeating her final year because she struggled so much. I think that's got a bluey tint to it, which I rather like. Now, so leaves and berries. I think also young people, mental health is such a big issue for them all, and it's so sad. And I was looking at a podcast about it. I didn't watch it. I was looking at the sort of takeaway points from it, which I don't get the time really to watch podcasts. Raisin, and it was saying how this one's broken a bit, but because of since young people grew up with phones, like from a very young age in school, having phones at school age, it has led to much higher mental health issues in young people. Now, to be honest, I am not 100% convinced that that is the reason, because a lot of it was theory was always to play outside with our friends, and then we got a resilience because we got used to solving arguments with each other and things like that. I can see the logic behind that, but I didn't grow up playing outside with people. Only my sister, and we would play inside too. And so, and I was bullied at school. I didn't have that resilience. I'm going to use the tropical rain for those leaves, but I found a way to get through it. I didn't feel that my mental health was bad. I hated school. I didn't want to go. I used to cry every Sunday night, so I guess I was in quite a bad place, but it just wasn't something that anybody ever talked about. My parents were like, well, you're going in. You've got to go. You've got no choice. In you go, off you go. Get on with it. Just do it, you know. And I gained I feel like I gained resilience later. You know, the fact that I had to deal with that at a young age has helped me later. But I don't know. I don't know the answer really. My boys, Pine Green, didn't grow up with phones. They had, but they grew up with computers, but they didn't have a phone with them all the time. They only started using phones when they were at secondary school, and they weren't allowed them in school, so they didn't take them with them. Only really once they started college for A-levels, so they were 16, did they start using a phone a lot. I haven't finished this yet. Something is jumping out at me, is not quite right, so I'm just looking for a colour. Yeah, the dots on our mushroom, I feel like we need to put some shadow under them. They look rather flat, so I'm using the deep sea, which we used already on here. I'm going to go underneath them a little bit just to try and add a bit of shadow, but I'm also going to do that under the flowers as well. It's going to take a little bit of time to try and get it looking reasonably neat. I'm not going to put pressure on myself to make it too neat because I know I can't do it that well. But I don't know whether mobile phones is the problem, or whether lockdown had a big impact. I think parents having phones on all the time could be a problem. Like when my dad came home from work, he used to want to talk to me about what I did at school. I didn't want to talk to him about it, but he wanted to talk to me. He showed interest, and I would sometimes talk to him a little bit, particularly as I got a bit older really, about what I'd been doing. So he wanted to talk. He didn't want to, whereas I think nowadays parents aren't always engaged. Jelly roll 8. No, I'm going to use the Jelly Roll 5 to put some dots on these berries. I think parents are often busier, definitely. Everyone's busier, and that makes less time for talking to kids. And once you don't talk to them, they don't want to engage with you either. So I think that can be part of a problem too. My dad was always interested in what I was doing. He always wanted me to tell him and talk to him about something. And even though I wasn't always willing to talk to him, I knew he was interested. Do you know what I mean? I think that might have made a difference. Right, I really should have used my brush, but I have done. I'm just going to check my row and see if I want to add any more dots, highlights, things like that, because I've been a bit slack with my pen. But I think I'm okay, actually, with that. Yeah, so I think I'm happy with that little row. Should we look at the whole page as a whole? Let's pull it out so we can see. But I think I'm not blaming parents for that. I think there is a pressure to be constantly answering messages, to be checking work email. Let's come in a little bit more. There we go. To be engaged with people, with your friends, family. And, you know, there's an urgency almost to do that. And I think that can be a problem. Right. That is the end of that page. I've had such fun. Thank you for joining me, especially if you've watched all the videos. I really appreciate it. Please do like if you've enjoyed it, and maybe drop me a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please do as well, and then you'll get notifications when I get my next video out. Or you can change the notifications so that you don't get any, if you'd rather not get any, and still subscribe just to show your support. But I appreciate all of you that already have. Thank you so much for watching. Have a super day and happy colouring.